Welcome back to the Against All Odds, the Less Than 1% Chance podcast with your host, Maria Aponte, where we will hear stories of incredible people thriving against all odds. And my hope is that we can all see how life is always happening for us, even when we are the less than 1% chance. Hey, welcome back to Against All Odds, the Less Than 1% Chance podcast with your host, Maria Aponte. I hope you are doing amazing. I just wanted to give you a little bit of an idea of what has happened in the last few weeks. It has been kind of a whirlwind start of the year. This is going to be my second episode of the year, my episode number 30. And so I am very excited. I started to see my therapist again. And there has been some really profound insights over the last few times that I've seen her. And I was really kind of struggling a bit over the past, I would say like few weeks with just ideas. Well, actually, I would say since the beginning of the year, I've had these ideas of things that I want to launch and things that I want to do and kind of give others a few different levels of how they could work with me more on a one-on-one basis, on a group coaching basis, and things like that, more than what I already do in terms of the health and wellness space or the business development space. I wanted to do more one-on-one coaching. What I've learned in terms of personally growing and overcoming obstacles, the way that I feel like I've been blessed to do in my lifetime, but I think over the last 8 years, what I've really learned how to hone in and not only help myself, but help my team, help the people that I work with one-on-one. And I really want to kind of go from there. However, there's this really fake thing. There's this really fake thing called imposter syndrome. And you start thinking, well, who am I to even do this? I feel so broken. And I said this to my therapist, and she mentioned to me, Maria, what do you think makes me such a great therapist? It's the broken parts of me. It's the broken parts of me that can not only relate to the things that my clients are going through, but that could also show the way, or maybe the ways not to go, like show the path of most resistance and the path of least resistance, and really pave that way for others to shorten that learning curve. And I think that's so true. That's what makes me such an amazing coach to begin with, such an amazing accountability partner, because I've been there. And I know that when you start feeling this way, or when, you know, you start not showing up for your own journey, what that does. And I've been there myself. And that's why I can speak so intelligently to it. And maybe when I talk to my clients, I am able to give them such insight because I've been there too. And so it really has brought me it brought me to a place of just thinking of all the different ways that I do want to open up to working with clients. I will always and forever be a body partner. It calls to me. It's what changed my life, what saved my life. It gave me the tools that I needed for my life to completely change. And because I have attained all of these incredible, incredible opportunities to grow, I feel like now I can take everything that I've learned and help others do the same. Overcome just seasons of life that are not easy. I am currently right now experiencing this. It was one of the most trying weeks, that I have been through in a very long time. And I'll kind of give you a little bit of backstory, why I say this. So, on my oldest daughter just turned 20. Oh my gosh, I have a 20-year-old. I still cannot believe it. I am like completely in shock that I have a 20-year-old. How has 2 decades passed? How has how is it that I went from being the mom of three teenagers to being the mom of a 20-year-old and two teenagers? It just blows my ever-loving mind. It's crazy. So anyways, so on my daughter's 20th birthday, we had just a really small celebration here at my house. And so my boyfriend and I invited my ex-husband and his wife, which, we get along great. My mom and my sister and my nephew and niece and so forth, right? Just having siblings here, and that's it. We were gonna do a brunch, and it was amazing. We had such a great time. Everyone ate, there was food for everybody. It was great. M My daughter and her fiancé leave with her dad a few hours later, and their dad is going to take her home and do me the favor of just dropping them off. So I'm like, great, I have time to still hang out with my sister, with my mom. I have my baby nephew in my hand. And before they leave, my youngest daughter, my 15-year-old, is riding this electric bike that we have up and down the road, like in our neighborhood. And my nephew's riding with her, and they're like taking turns, and they're having a great time. So I'm like, all right, well, we're starting to clean up. And I grab my baby nephew, and he's falling asleep on me, and I was in heaven. And all of a sudden, I get a call, and it's a number that I don't know. And I don't pick up numbers that I don't know, so I turn it off. And then I see my youngest daughter's phone number come up. And so I pick it up, and I'm like, hey, baby. All I hear is mom screaming. I'm not obviously going to scream, mom, car. I lose it. At that particular moment, I I hand my baby nephew to my sister, and I go out the door running. I don't know where I'm running to. And I'm going to try to keep my composure as much as humanly possible with this. I go out the door running, and all I could hear is her screaming and crying, and her telling me there was a car, and some lady picks up the phone. I start running towards the front of the neighborhood, and apparently she's in the back of the neighborhood, and a car hit her while she was on the bike. And I lose it. It's like all of those thoughts in that moment, right? Like, God, think, God forbid any of this was the case, but these are the thoughts that immediately I'm like hearing this, and her crying and screaming, um and I'm thinking, oh my God, I just celebrated my oldest's 20th birthday, and my youngest might not be, like, it was craziness. um and in that moment, I was just, all I could think was, God, please protect my baby. I prayed that my dad would have just covered her in, like, in protection, and it was just insane. Those were the, like, a 5-second span of moments, maybe 10. I don't know. But thankfully, Danny was smarter and runs out the house with the keys to his car. And my mom and me jump in his car. We go back to the back of the neighborhood, and she is sitting there with, like, on the ground. The bike is not necessarily right next to her. There's these a bunch of people around her, and I'm like, I lose it. I mean, I'm so grateful that she is sitting there and she's okay and she's alive. I don't know what's going on with her. So the lady that had tried calling me, she was on the phone with the police and the ambulance was on their way. Like, this, it was so quick. Everything happened so fast. And the neighbors are like, the car left. And I'm like, it was a hit and run. Almost, I lost it. And one of the neighbors is like, yeah, it's that's the car, that's the truck, whatever. It was down the street. And my boyfriend goes, he's so amazing. Like, you don't know what these people have in their brain or what's happening and like what can come out of it. He goes over there and he's like, you hit a little girl. Like, how are you? We just called the cops. So they come back. And it was a lady, and she was like, I didn't see that happen. I didn't see her. What? There's a girl on the ground, and you literally have chunks of your vehicle missing in the front. Obviously, you had to have felt something. Oh my gosh. I am not going to speak to any more of that part of it. Um, but the ambulance got there. My baby and went in the ambulance. She had a bump on her head because when she was thrown off of the bike, she landed like on the curve. Um, and then her body had road rash. She couldn't move her foot. It was super swollen. Her knee was it was very cut up. Um, she had road rash everywhere. It was pretty bad. And they put a neck brace on her and just in case, because again, she was hit in the head as well. So like we didn't know how this would turn out. I am so incredibly grateful. My dad covered her. God was so good and covered her in his grace, and she came out with a fractured knee and ankle and has lots of healing to do with road rash. The bump thankfully was not like anything more serious than what it could have been. Um, I'm so incredibly grateful. So, in the moments, in the moments of complete and total chaos, I chose to focus on gratitude. I chose to focus on the fact that people were around, that we were able to get there. I chose to be completely grateful that she was all in all okay, that this didn't go as bad as it could have gone. Will she like have some rehabilitation to do? Yes. But she's here, and I'm I am going to choose to to look at what blessings can come from this. And I am choosing to focus on the blessings. I am choosing to focus on what my baby needs from me and how I need to show up for her, because in the midst of traumas and obstacles and hard things, I remember how I needed my parents to show up, that I felt sometimes they didn't do that. So my focus was to show up how my daughter needed me to in that moment. I feel so close to her. I feel like we've never been closer. Um, we have our own internal jokes. I've had to, she's 15, so it's like, Mom, it's weird that you like have to watch me shower, but she literally needs me to help her shower. And it's been this like bond that I am incredibly proud of. Um, and like in the midst of that, I got sick. My son got sick. Our 17-year-old dog passed away. Like all of this happened in a week, in the span of a week. And I allowed myself to feel the feelings, be all up in my feelings, and move one step after the next, and remind myself that it was one step after the next. And every single step, I have come back to gratitude. What am I grateful for? I am so incredibly grateful that my baby is okay. I am so incredibly grateful that we can now look back and joke, goodness, you couldn't even give your sister a day. It's her birthday, and you couldn't give her that, to make some light of the situation. Um, and I am so incredibly grateful for the power, the power of social media, and the prayers and the well wishes and the good vibes and every good intention sent our way in the last week. I feel so incredibly blessed. And the fact that I could come here and speak to you in moments of my brokenness and show you the things that I'm holding on to strength with, the habits that I have created. I still wake up in the morning, every morning, and I put on my headphones and I press play to this app that I use for personal growth called Growth Day every morning. Because if I can start my day with some positive intentions and goodness in my ears, and what project out to the world, or to my daughter, or to my son, or my other daughter, or my family, or Danny, or my mom, or like, if I could project all good feelings and be the lighthouse to others that are maybe experiencing tough situations. It doesn't have to look the same, but obstacles are obstacles, and it's relevant to you. I look at these obstacles, and you don't have to be going through the same things that I'm going through, but you could be going through something that is as hard or as devastating to you. And if I could be the lighthouse to show you, hey, these are the things that I'm doing to stay the course and focus on the good. And truly, did I work out every day? I did not. And I'll tell you why. Number one, it's taxing on my body enough to carry the weight of the 15-year-old. That was the first thing. Secondly, I got sick. I got really sick. I do not normally get sick, and obviously with all of my emotions happening, I think that definitely brought my immune system down, and I maybe picked something up from the hospital, a cold, but I was feeling it everywhere. I don't believe that my son and I had the same thing. We weren't even close to each other at all. He got to my house Sunday morning and locked himself in his room because he was already not feeling well. And I had not been with him since Wednesday, since Wednesday of the previous week. So we weren't together. So I don't believe that I had what he had, but I do know that my defenses were down because of all of the emotions that were happening. I feel like that didn't help my defenses, and I just caught a cold. But I was not feeling well, so I did not work out, which I would normally keep at least the momentum of the workout happening. But I listened to my body. I rested as much as I possibly could. I listened to Growth Day every day. I kept my hydration up every day. I ate what I could that was what I knew was good for me as much as I possibly could, because there was a moment in time where my stomach was like, nope, Maria, not today. This is not happening. But I tried to keep those things like, what am I going to do that is going to help me? And man, there was some really tough nights of coughing fits for hours and hours that I would just like, I think Danny would hear me whimper at night, like, I just want to sleep. But I would try to rest when I could, even if it was like sitting up, laying back, kind of rest. But every morning, first thing in the morning, I would put on my headphones, and listen to Growth Day. I listened to something that was fueling my mind with positivity, with gratitude, with affirming that I've got this. I was made for this. I'm strong. I am resilient. I've already survived my worst day. I've already survived it. So this is just one more day, one more step in front of the other. And that has literally been what has kept me going. I'm still caring for my daughter. She just went back to school, thankfully. My son just went back to school, thankfully. I am feeling much better, thankfully. But I really needed to come in with this huge emphasis on gratitude. And I know I've talked about gratitude a bunch of times, but literally, gratitude is the essence of abundance. Love and gratitude is the essence of abundance. And I am so incredibly grateful that I have been working this business where I have been able to provide an income coming in and getting my bills paid and going through all of this, and there's still a paycheck coming in. I'm so incredibly grateful. so incredibly grateful that I don't have to go punch in somewhere or explain why I can't go punch in or worry about having to take care of her and go take care of a bunch of customers and, in a call center or something. I haven't had to do that. And I'm so incredibly grateful. I am incredibly grateful because there were moments in my life that that wouldn't have been the case. And I'm just like, my baby, I was there for her the whole time. I didn't have to call out to anybody. I am so grateful and I am like holding my myself in that state of gratitude because I know that my heart is in it for the good. Like I get to help people get healthy. I get to help people build a business. I will soon be one-on-one coaching people or group coaching people on a different level as well. And I feel wholeheartedly that I was blessed with those resources so that I am able to be there fully present for when my family needs me the most. Ah, that was a lot. That was that was just a lot. No, I'm just kind of still reeling in this like gratitude cycle and just taking in all of the gratitude, all the things, all the blessings that I have found along the way, because focusing on the blessings is what has helped me get through to being so incredibly fortunate to have this platform, this social media, this these amazing humans that wanted to help any way they could, even if it was sending prayers for my daughter and for us. And I just want to urge you that if you're experiencing something right now, look for the blessings. Am I going to focus on the anger that I felt when I found out that this person felt that they hit something? They slowed down and then they went along their merry way to their home. No, I'm gonna send them lots of love because, man, you have to be a really, like, you had to have been going through some crazy things to be able to know that you hit a child and keep just going. So I am sending that person so much love. And I'm so grateful that my daughter is okay, that she is alive. And even if she has some healing to do, I think that that had greater purpose. I think she was able to see the abundance of love that maybe she needed to feel from others. And I'm so grateful that she got what she needed. She's also going to therapy, and that was something that we spoke about. So the world, God has sometimes a funny way of giving us what we need. It might not look the way we want it to look, but we get what we need. So I just wanted to jump in and kind of speak my heart on that. I have some really great episodes lined up. They will be coming soon with some guests. If you have an Against All Odds story and would like to share with us, I would be super honored to hear your story and to show people that against all odds, we could see how life is happening for us and not to us. So, thank you so much for listening today. If you can send a little prayer to my daughter, I will send a little prayer to you and your family. And thanks for listening and for continuing to support this podcast. I truly feel like it is part of my calling and part of something that is going to leave a legacy. So I hope you have a super fantastic day. Thank you so much for listening or watching. Peace out, guys. Love your life. Bye.